Hello and welcome to the 9th lesson of the AGR SketchUp course. In today's lesson, we're going to learn how to use the arc command. In order to activate the line command, you can click this icon over here, or you could find various types of arcs by clicking the down arrow and clicking on these four commands that we have over here. First, we're going to talk about the 2-point arc. You could also activate the arc command by going to Draw, Arcs, and then clicking on this 2-point arc. Or you could press A on your keyboard to activate the arc command. So I will press A, and in order to draw an arc, first you need to click the first point of your arc. So I will click, and then we move our cursor to whichever position we want, and then we could click or give it a number. For example, we could type 5 meters and then press enter, and then move our cursor to whichever direction we want. We could move it up or down, and we could click to create that arc. So for example, we could create a half circle if we move it so it's almost a half circle. It will give us a sign that it's a half circle. Or we could move it higher or lower. So you need to click to confirm that arc. So as you can see, the arc is created of various segments, and it's not a smooth arc. So in order to draw a smooth arc, we could click and then click once again, and then move our cursor up. And now we could type a value, like for example, we could type 50 and then following by an S. So this will create 50 segment arc or 50 sides arc. There is also another way to change the sides of an arc, and that is by pressing Ctrl plus minus, or pressing Ctrl with the plus key on your keyboard. So I will leave it on 14 sides in the arc, and I will click to confirm this arc. There is also another option for this arc command, and that is if we have, for example, a rectangle, we could fillet these corners just by using the arc command. So I press A on keyboard and then click once over here, and then as you can see, when I click on an edge of the rectangle, the arc turns to pale blue, and this indicates that the line is tangent to the line we just clicked on. So if we want to have an arc which is tangent to both of these lines, we could hover our cursor to the edge of this rectangle and then move our cursor down so the arc turns to pink. And now when I double click on that point, this will create a fillet of that corner. And also we could use it over here. I could also use Ctrl plus minus to decrease the segments over here. Or we can now go lower than 2 segments or 2 sides, or we could not even go higher than 999 sides. So this is a key point to keep in mind. I will have like 5 sides and then double click to confirm this fillet. Let's now move on to the arc tool. We now know how to use the 2-point arc. So we will go to this section and click on the drop down menu, and we click on this arc to activate the arc command. And the arc command is created by a center point and a radius and an angle. So you need to first click and then to define the center point of that arc, and then click a second point to create an radius that you want. So for example, I want to have it like 2.5 meters, and then I will assign an angle. So for example, I could create it visually, or I could give it a number. So for example, 145 degrees, and press the enter key. And you could use it like, for example, if you have a rectangle, and then you could click on this arc and click on the center point of this, and click on the end point and click on the next end point, and this will create an arc, a half circle, and also it will create a face because there is a line over here, and when you create that arc, it will make that a face. So let's now move on to the 3-point arc. The 3-point arc is made up of 3 points starting at an end point and a point for the tangent, a tangent point on that arc. So for example, if I click on this icon, or we could go to draw arcs and click on this 3-point arc. And now I can click once, and then the second point is a tangent point on the arc. So I can click over here and then click to on an endpoint where we want to create that arc. So I will click over here, and this creates that arc for me. So this is useful when we have like 3 points, like we have a line over here and a line over here and also a line over here. So we could create an arc which starts from here and then moves on going through this point and then ends on this point. The next tool that we have is pi. Pi is somehow similar to the arc that we explained earlier, but the difference is that it creates 2 lines on the 2 radius that we created. So for example, if I activate the pi, I can click to indicate the center point, and now when I move it to the right, you can see that it creates a line and not a dotted line for me. So I will click to define the radius and then move my cursor to define the angle. So I can click over here, so it says quarter circle, and this will create a quarter circle pi for me with 2 lines that the arc didn't have. Maybe we have a rectangle like this, and then we will remove a rectangle from that rectangle, and now we can click on this pi, click on this endpoint, and then click on this midpoint and move our cursor to this line and click once again to create that pi. And now we can delete these 2 lines. So this is how we can use the pi. And also there are a lot of other ways that we can use the pi. So this concludes the 9th lesson of the AGR SketchUp course. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.